Alright, we are going to open up Autodesk Inventor and then go ahead and create a new part file. So there's lots of different ways to do that, but we'll go ahead and do that to start with. Today we're going to create part number 14, which is the gear plate for the Arbor press. You can see the features. First thing you want to do is look and see what's going to be the base feature. So this is the large side, and this is a small side. So there's basically two extrusions and then some holes, and we should be good to go. So I'm going to slide that off of the way. So we're going to go ahead and start a 2D sketch. It doesn't necessarily matter which plane as far as how it was drawn. I'm going to click the XY. I'm going to have to look at my blueprint to find out how big this thing needs to be to create that. So it looks like it's 1.75. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish that sketch. And then go to extrude. Select that extrusion. It looks like the overall thickness of that particular large plate appears to be 0.250. Again, looking at the blueprint. So we go ahead and create that. Next, we're going to go ahead and create another sketch on that plane. Another circle starting from the origin. This one appears to be 1.165. Again, looking at the blueprint, extrude that circle out 0.25, and now you have that. Last but not least, you have to create the holes. So we can create the holes that go around this particular pattern. Remember, there's different ways to do it. You can dimension it, or you can create one and then use the pattern feature, which I think is always a pretty good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and create a new sketch. I'll go ahead and put my point in, just right somewhere in there. I'm going to have to take a look at the dimensions to figure out how big the holes or the distance away those holes have to be as I go through there. It appears that if I go to the dimensioning tool right here, click on here, and if I look at the radius, it says it's 0.725. And so that is where that hole should go. Finish sketch. We'll go ahead and put the hole feature in. It's a normal hole, nothing fancy. It just looks like the diameter of those particular holes are 0.172 all the way through the part. So now that I have one of those holes created, I can go ahead and just use the pattern, circular pattern feature. And it wants me to select the feature first, which is that hole. And then down here, we'll go to rotation axis. And you can pick any circle. It doesn't really matter because you want to rotate it around that circle. And if you see here, it has 6, but you only need 3 holes if you look at the blueprint. And those 3 holes, if you just kind of click on the front, you'll see automatically puts them exactly where they need to be, which is 120 degrees apart. Hit OK, and you just created that part, which is part number 14, the gear plate. A lot of times I like to try to, oops, my bad. A lot of times I like to try to, if there's a material on here, I like to make that material before I save everything and be done with it. So if I go down to the gear plate, it looks like it's aluminum 6061. So I'm going to slide that back over. And my last part of the little process here would be to go to the Inventor Eye and go to Eye Properties. Come over to the Physical tab over here. And the material defaults to generic, so that's how it always is. So you can kind of scroll up a little bit if you want aluminum 6061. And this gives me some nice things. So this thing weighs less than, not 0.083 pounds, very small part. So apply, kind of changes the color a little bit, that's all right. Close, and you now have a finished part, which is the gear plate. So save, and that should, you want to make sure it's saving into your Arbor press project. So this is on a different computer, so I didn't create that yet. But you can go ahead and call it what it is. So base plate. And I always use my last name on stuff. It makes things good. So if you want to just use your last name when you're naming files, it helps us find those things later on. Save it, and life is good. You can move on to the next part. Good job.